If you picture a football defender, you probably imagine a player whose sole responsibility is to kick the ball and the opposing striker as far away from the penalty box as possible. For decades, that destructive approach was the standard. A defender's mandate was fundamentally negative: to neutralize threats, win physical duels, and execute clearances from danger zones. The 2019 FIFA rule modification permitted central defenders to receive the ball inside their own penalty area. This forced defenders to become primary instigators, tasked with breaking high-pressing lines and establishing numerical superiorities from the deepest areas of the pitch. Modern football requires a specialized understanding of spatial mechanics. These players are no longer defined by physical destruction, but by their ability to manipulate the opponent's defensive block through possession. This pitch targets the central defensive third. The highlighted X is the no-nonsense defender, focused on strict man-marking and clearances. Because two identical defenders are redundant, teams use complementary partnerships. One pushes forward to contest the ball, while their partner drops backward. The aggressive half of this duo is the stopper. They step out of the defensive line to intercept forward passes and lead the press, functioning similarly to a ball-winning midfielder within the defensive strata. The covering defender acts as the tactical counterweight. They rely on positioning and acceleration to sweep up through balls that bypass the more aggressive stopper. The success of the central block relies on a clear division of labor. One player hunts the ball, while the other preserves the team's shape. In modern possession systems, central defenders are now required to maintain the passing range and composure of a deep-lying playmaker. The ball-playing center back uses specific micromechanics to escape pressure. They adjust the speed, weight, and spin of their passes to ensure a teammate can receive the ball cleanly while surrounded by opponents. The historic Libero sat behind the defense, but the role has evolved into a technical figure advancing into midfield. In Guardiola's 3-2-4-1 system, a central defender moves into the double pivot, creating a central overload to dominate the pitch. The central defender has transitioned from a passive shield into an active tactical tool designed to pull opposing midfielders out of position. On the flanks, lateral defenders cover the most distance on the pitch, functioning as primary attacking outlets without sacrificing wide defensive stability. This wide movement illustrates the overlapping fullback. By sprinting beyond the winger, they stretch the defense horizontally, which forces the opponent to widen their block and creates gaps in the central half spaces. Wingbacks in a back three provide attacking width, but must instantly drop into a back five upon losing possession. Alternatively, the inverted fullback steps inward to the midfield pivot, creating a central numerical advantage and securing the structure against counterattacks. These lateral movements present the opponent with a difficult choice. They must either surrender the wings to the overlap or lose control of the central midfield to the inversion. Managing these fluid, moving parts is a structural hazard without constant communication and collective coordination. The defensive captain manages this synchronization. They use practical verbal commands to realign the block and organize the midfield movements based on the opponent's positioning. This profile view shows the offside trap, the most high-stakes maneuver in the game. On a signal from the captain, the entire backline must sprint forward in unison right as the ball carrier looks down to pass, leaving the striker behind the line. This tactic is volatile. If one defender reacts a fraction of a second late, they keep the attacker on side, leaving the goalkeeper isolated against a runner in open space. Defensive success in the modern era relies less on individual athleticism and more on this collective spatial choreography. The traditional model of a purely destructive, specialized defender has largely been superseded by the requirements of the modern game. As tactical systems move toward fluid asymmetry, the boundaries between the defensive and midfield lines have become porous. Every player in the backline now functions as a hybrid tactician. Today's elite defenders treat space as a dynamic medium to be proactively controlled and exploited. The next time you watch a match, look past the ball carrier and watch how the backline is manipulating the opponent's movements.